64-bit legends. Welcome.
Legend of the game, like GoldenEye, I'm more than right.
Yeah.
The perfect dark is dreams that seem to come to life. 64-bit, the shit, it's as real as it
Yeah.
gets. We can
Yeah.
talk sports, games, and music. Take your pick. Point with the news, pull up and crack a brew. Smoke one with the crew.
Smoke.
Tune in and take a view.
Watch.
We here to raise the bar from the lowest mark. Sit your ass down and listen. It's time for the show to start.
Show to start.
Last Christmas, you gave me a heart. The very next day, you gave it away. Melvin and Bobby are back to doing something special.
It is special. This is what I like to call a very special episode. You know why it's so special?
Why is it so special?
Because we're here.
Yeah.
And we're doing it. And we're making things happen.
All right.
It's a
This
special
doesn't seem
event.
thrown together.
It's a special event.
It is. It is a special event. It's episode what? 66.
66.
One away from the devil's number.
Yes, it's the devil's son.
Yep.
This is
That's
the Damien
Big
of
Al.
episodes.
Big Al is the devil's son.
He's a
Or
little
so he claimed.
little bit of a devilish. I'm feeling it like I'm in a devilish mood.
I'm
You feel a little
kind of
devilish?
feeling in a devilish mood.
You feel a little Devlin?
a little Mark Devlin?
A little Mark Devlin Johnson.
Yeah.
This is what we're gonna call the Mark Devlin,
MDJ.
the Mark Devlin Johnson episode.
I mean, because no one wants Douglas.
no, Mark Douglas Johnson sucked. He was terrible. He was such a fucking asshole. Devlin was the shit with his lightning blue anime shirts.
Yep, and his slick back black hair.
Yeah, and his
Chubby cheeks.
he was a cherub. He was a chubby little
And
cherub.
his jorts.
And definitely jorts. They were damn near floods. They
Yep.
were so fucking
With
awesome.
with what looked like the Starberries from Stephen Barry's.
Yeah, fucking Devlin was so cool. I don't even know what his voice sounds like. He would just
I don't know if I've ever talked to him.
no, but I seen him from a distance, and I was like, Devlin,
You devil.
you're killing it. I love it.
You're killing the game right now.
Nobody knows. There's like one person who knows what we're talking about.
But that's okay.
But this is the Devlin episode.
Yes, this is a very Devlin episode.
Because we're gonna Devlin deep.
I see what you did
Yeah,
there.
see
I
what-
see what you did
You were
there.
gonna Devlin deep on
There's
something.
going to be a bunch of double entendres.
Yes. But no, this is good. So
Well, Christmas is coming up,
it is.
you know. And who brings us gifts? Santa Claus.
Santa
right?
Claus.
Santa Claus brings us the gifts.
And the Postmaster General.
Yes.
He's also in charge.
Yep.
He's the person I complain to when the mail fucks up the mail. You know, you ever get
When the elves fuck up, right?
Yeah, the elves. Honestly, what if Santa Claus really was just? Has anyone ever thought of this? If Santa Claus was a business, it wasn't a person. It was a corporation.
This could go somewhere.
And it was run like the United States Postal Service. And it was basically a way for companies.
It's a clause.
It is a clause. It's a big clause. It's dare I say,
The Santa Claus.
the Santa Claus with Tim Allen, which
and the kid from my favorite movie. I can't think of it right now.
Ooh,
Dawson checks in, the little kid.
he's not in the show.
Yeah, he's the little kid.
Oh, in the first movie.
Yeah.
I was thinking of the new one on Disney Plus.
No.
That.
I think of the original.
Oh, all right.
With Bernard the Elf or whatever his
Well,
name was.
Bernard's in the show.
Wait, it's a show now?
Yeah, it's like
It's not a
it's a
movie?
limited series.
Okay.
You know, they got like 8 episodes.
So
or something
Dahmer
like that.
comes in?
Dahmer comes in. He eats everybody.
He's like chowing on an elf.
he sleeps with a mannequin, but it's dressed up like Santa Claus.
This sounds great.
Tim Allen's involved. He's filming it.
He's snorting coke.
He is. That's what he does. That's what Tim Allen does. He's no. It's But so here's something I took away from the whole
Yeah.
Santa Claus. I didn't watch it.
Okay. But it's a giant corporation.
It's no.
Oh, we're talking about the series.
the
now.
series. We'll get
Okay.
back to the corporation in a minute.
Okay, I'm so confused.
So the show, the Santa Claus.
You almost said the corporation.
I know. I was gonna go into that, and then that's like a whole wrestling angle. That's
Jesus
like a
Christ.
whole thing. But no, the Santa Clauses. it was revealed about Bernard the elf.
Yes.
If you saw did you see the trailer with the Bernard?
The new one?
Yeah.
No, I didn't know this existed.
You never saw the trailer?
No.
Oh man. Okay. Well, that explains so much. Then. All right.
I don't have Disney Plus.
Well, no, but you have like social media. There's trailers.
Yeah, I
You
guess.
can watch.
But like once I see Tim Allen, I kind of scroll past it real quick.
What? Who
Well,
does that?
minus like Home Improvement clips, and those were from 30 years ago.
They-
So if I see present day Tim Allen, he doesn't catch my eye.
Listen.
It's not I have nothing against him. He just doesn't catch my eye.
I like current day Tim Allen. In the lineup of great sitcom stars,
Kenan Thompson.
he's, dare I say, the last man standing.
Ha!
See what I did there? That was pretty good.
I get it.
So,
Mike Baxter.
yeah. So, no, Santa Claus being a corporation. It's run like the Postmaster General runs the USPS,
Yes.
and it's full of disgruntled union workers.
Yep.
And and sometimes they fuck up the gifts. And so when you're like, Mom, you got me socks, I didn't want it. And deep down, she's like, well, there's still socks, they're good. In the back of her mind, she's like, I didn't get socks, I got an Xbox.
Yeah.
And then she's got to write to the postmaster,
Gerald,
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Yeah, she's got to write in and be like, listen, you screwed up my order, so next Christmas, you're gonna have to really make it work. And then sometimes
So what do the parents write into the Santa Claus Corporation?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
they send them like the kids' Christmas
yeah,
list?
they send the Christmas list to the corporation. It's funded by your tax dollars. That's part of what.
Paying your stimulus checks back.
Yeah, that's part of what Medicare is. You see those big Medicare, takeaways out of your paycheck. That's not to pay for when you're retired.
It's the Santa Claus.
It's for gifts. You get it when you're young, so you're getting that money back. It's all part of
that would be crazy.
it's a government shell game.
Yeah, it's like they have like code words like the military. They're like
Yeah.
the carriers, like the mail carriers, are the elves. They're doing all the work,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Or maybe they're Santa. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe whoever's like the other big companies, like where they're getting the gifts from, are the elves, like
Yeah.
Sony, shit like that. They're the elves, right?
Yeah.
The white carriers are like the cars they drive are the reindeer.
Yeah.
Dude, it's like all fucking secret code.
It is. It's all secret. In fact, our most of our military budget is to fund the Santa Project. And
Dude, I'm down.
we
I'm in
didn't-
with this.
Here's the catch. We didn't go to war in the Middle East for 20 years. We weren't in Afghanistan for 20 years. That was the Santa Claus Project. And then what happens? We leave Afghanistan. Now no one gets gifts. We're in a recession. Thanks, Joe Biden. You fucking ruined Christmas.
And that's when you get coal.
You got a bunch of coal. You got
Like, yeah, when we go into a recession, it's
Yeah.
called coal. And then, like, when we go into a depression, it's probably called, I don't know, fucking Santa rape or something. Santa got killed.
Yeah.
Santa got ran over by a reindeer or grandma.
and that's why they're like, yeah, they're trying, and that's why they're really strict on their elves, right? And they're always they're mistreating them, and sometimes they try to find little ways where they screw them out of their elf jobs. Because the trick of being an elf is you get to stay young forever.
Yeah.
Unless you're not an elf.
Yeah. And if you are an elf, you get that elf pension.
True.
You get that elf life insurance.
Yep.
Or life insurance, but medical insurance.
Yep.
For life. And they pay for everything because being an elf is a tough job.
It is.
All right. You have to lift. You have to create fucking toys.
Nope.
You're on your feet. Mm-hmm. There's other crazy elves out there that try to take you down.
You don't get to enjoy the holiday season at all.
No. Like, from fucking Thanksgiving on, being an elf sucks. Like,
It's a full-time
it
job.
is. And the work conditions aren't the best. You
Yeah.
can't control them. The Santa Claus
Yeah.
doesn't control the weather and what you're working in.
No, Santa Claus doesn't care. Santa Claus demands you call him sir,
Yeah.
which it sounds like you're familiar with this.
Yeah. So
This is-
sometimes seasonal elves must call Santa sir. Yes, sir. No, sir.
yeah, this is
So There's another company that is similar to the Santa Claus.
Yeah.
And they help out and they're elves.
Yeah.
Is a carrier service.
Oh, okay.
They drive brown trucks.
Oh, I
You know,
see.
brown trucks. Another company drives white trucks, blue trucks. Well, I just left the brown truck company.
Oh, this is interesting.
So-
this is breaking news.
Yep.
Nobody knows this.
Nobody knows this. I was a brown elf.
It's a brown elf.
I was a brown elf for almost 4.5 years.
It sounds almost racist to say.
I wasn't brown facing it. I was brown uniform.
Oh, I see. Okay. You were an elf in brown face. That would be ridiculous.
I was not a brown faced elf. And the main reason was because of the Santa Clauses, because of the management. You always hear good employees don't leave good management.
It's true.
It's the jobs that have revolving doors usually have poor management.
Yep.
They're usually assholes. They're usually power hungry. Well, with the boys in brown, they are union. So these fucking asshole management, they have no power over the elves that drive the trucks.
Right.
They don't have power over the elves that load the trucks. Because they can't fire them unless they fucking steal something, harass somebody, or, probably threaten someone. It's very difficult to get fired and not get your job back.
It sounds like the elves are also part of the Teamsters Union. This
Yes.
is the Teamsters was one of
The
the biggest,
Elfsters.
They were one of the biggest unions in America, led by Jimmy Hoffa.
Yep.
We understand why he wasn't murdered because of the mob. It was they had to keep the secrets of Santa Claus.
So the Elfsters, like the Teamsters, like Jimmy Hoffa, the Elfsters, the head of him is probably the Grinch.
that's what
And then that's why the Grinch fucking hates Christmas, because all of his elves aren't getting treated well.
Yeah, it was when they started really tinkering with the elf business during the Carter administration. Really started busting up the Teamsters or the Elfsters Union.
I mean, I felt for these elves, man, because just like these elves, we'd have to fucking. I mean, Santa Claus can't make all these deliveries, so he has to have some of his elves.
Yeah.
Just like how he has some of the elves go to the malls.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I'm sure the elves were doing like the elves in brown. I'd be doing 200 to 230 stops a day.
Really?
More like 220 to 230. It would never really get down to 200. And I would probably have, I don't know, the most or second most stops in the building on a regular basis.
So let's just paint the picture, though. So if you're out there, you're doing the elf's work,
Yep.
and you're in this rickety brown truck.
Yep.
They're rickety. Rickety's a good descriptor.
Rickety.
They're not well taken care of.
No, a lot of them. Well, it depends if you get a new truck, and that's rare.
Okay.
But most of the trucks I drove had anywhere from 100, which doesn't seem like a lot, 100,000 to up to 250,000.
Jesus.
And those were the rickety ass trucks, dude. Those ones they take out in the fucking country, and you're on these fucking dirt roads on a fucking diesel truck, and if it snows at all, it ain't going nowhere.
So
And it smells like shit because the diesel fucking leaks.
did they have, aside from the diesel fumes, did you have any sort of heat?
So I would say about half the trucks, the heat worked.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit more. I might be exaggerating. It might be more like 60 to 70% because the heat did work most of the time.
Okay.
And sometimes they're not so barbaric where we would be able to actually keep our truck running when it got into frigid temperatures.
Oh, they wouldn't run all the time if it was too cold?
Well, no. I'm saying to stop your car when you make a delivery.
Oh, I see.
So you would turn the car off to make the delivery. Sometimes when it was really, really cold, but it would have to be fucking frigid. They'd be like, "Oh, just keep your truck running because you're in and out of it so much.
Wait.
It's hard to keep it warm."
So they would actually, you were actually supposed to turn the truck off every time you made a stop?
Yeah, that's normal practice.
But wouldn't that actually use more fuel to have to turn over the car every time?
You
or
would
truck?
think, yeah. But I mean, we're not personally fucking paying for
But you know
gas.
what? If you get out and you leave the keys in, someone could steal the truck.
Well,
That-
the keys are on your hip, right?
Yeah.
So they have a key fob. So you hit the key fob and then you hit the button.
Oh, I see.
and it's like a push. It's like a key fob to a push to start.
Got it.
So they don't let you just keep the. I mean, they have a lot of rules, which a lot of them make sense. Fucking go so fast, like in traffic. Stay as far. A couple car lengths behind somebody when you come up to a red light. Make sure your following distances is correct, which it all makes sense. It's all things to
It's just good practice
to avoid an accident.
Yeah.
Yeah, good practice.
Because an accident is just going to make the insurance rates go up,
Right.
and I get it.
So, they do some of these things for good reason. The dumb shit is like they gave us like 5, driving 5 seeing habits and 10 like driving habits. And like we had to fucking memorize them word for word, like verbatim, and we would get asked every month to recite them to a safety committee guy.
Oh, wow.
And if we didn't, we could possibly get a warning letter. Like it was fucking retarded. Like, dude, like it was like I only knew the top part. Like, so the acronym was like all good kids like milk.
Okay.
All is aim high and steering.
Okay.
And like the description, you'd have to memorize the description too. I never memorized them because I was like, dude, fuck this. What are you not going to let me drive? So the description was something about like looking at a target and throwing a baseball or some shit. And I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with driving? But okay. K was so that all good. The good was good. G G. Aim high and steering. Get the big picture.
Oh, wow.
Get the big picture. So that's like, I guess, just fucking seeing everything. I don't know. I don't know the fucking description. I said, I didn't. I should have actually brought my card. I didn't realize this was going to be, the topic for today.
Yeah.
Keep all good kids. Keep your eyes moving.
Okay.
So like that makes
sense.
sense. Like during an intersection, look left, right, left. They would and by the way, if you didn't, they would sit at the corners like when we would leave in the first intersection. If you didn't go left, right, left, you could get a warning letter.
Oh, wow. But part of that of the routine of making the look isn't looking left, right, left, down at your phone, respond to the text, and then go back up and start driving again. That's not. That would not be a good procedure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're not actually supposed to be on your phone at all.
Oh, okay.
You're supposed to have both hands on the wheel.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
But yeah, you have to clear the intersections is what they call them.
Okay.
Clearing the intersection is looking left, right, left. So all good kids like L was leave yourself an out, I think.
Okay.
So like that's what you would keep distance in front of the other car in front of you, like at least a car length, just in case they break down, you can go around them. And you're supposed to have like at least 4 feet around the entire vehicle or some shit.
Honestly, I've driven not to that degree, but I've driven for jobs in the past.
Yeah.
And that's how I drive. Like
Right.
I'm always ready. Like I am my regular practice. I use it at least once a month is when I will always keep an eye out of like, okay, if this guy brakes hard,
Yeah.
I'm just going to swerve on the shoulder
Right.
around him, or I'm going to go this, and I always make sure there's plenty of room. So
Right.
that makes sense.
Like I said, most of these rules or guidelines, they're for good reason, right?
Yeah,
but
yeah,
there
yeah.
are some, there's, and I have no argument with this, but like to memorize something like a paragraph about fucking the details of it, like verbatim, just bothered me. I was like, dude, like I'm not in school, fuck this. And the last one was make sure they see you, which was, using your horn and your signals, shit like that, whatever, basic fucking driving shit, right?
Yeah.
So the 10 ones, though,
Oh, there's more.
yeah, those are just the seeing habits. The driving habits are like so many seconds behind the car in front of you, depending on the speed. Looking at stale green lights, like if the light was green for a while. Using your horn, looking at vehicles, like steering their or scanning their steering wheel to see if somebody was in it and trying to make eye contact with them.
That's intense.
Yeah, just because you know, like if you're in a neighborhood or something, someone could pull out in front of you. If you know, I don't know, dude.
Look at their on screen dash to see what direction they're driving.
I mean, sing along with the song that they're fucking. I don't know, dude.
Wave hi to their neighbor.
Yeah. You know, kiss their baby. Do whatever. So you had to memorize all these 5s and 10s.
Yeah.
And they would literally quiz you once a month, and you had to go see your safety guy. And like most of the safety guys, like some of them, dude, were just fucking straight up snitches, dude.
Oh, really?
Like straight up snitches. Like I wouldn't fucking trust them, you know, by telling them like, you know, I stole a piece of gum from you, dude. Like they are, you know, just fucking, they're bitches, dude.
Yeah, hall monitors.
Yes, exactly, hall monitors. Yeah. So, and then we would have, since I was an under 5-year driver, they had rookie camp every week, and they had under 5-year camp a week. So like one day a week, you'd go with the safety guys, and they'd be like, oh, you know, you can trust us. Like, what happened on the road this week? And, like, people would tell their stories and shit, and I swear management knew, like, the next day. And they're like, and you're like, no, this is a safe environment. Yeah, go fuck yourself. You're just going to tell. Like, so, like, you know, during the summer, like, I backed into someone's fucking, what is it called?
Like the overhang garage thing? It's not a full garage, but it just kind of hangs over.
Oh, no, the gutter. The gutter. I'm lost of words right now.
Gotcha.
The gutter. This edible kicked in. So, I backed into this gutter, and I'm like, fuck, dude. So I pull up, and I get out of the truck. No damage to the truck. Look up the gutter. No damage to the gutter. Look around. No Ring camera belt things that I can see. So I just fucking left. And I would have got fired for that. Because it's leaving the scene of an accident and not reporting it. There's no damage, man. I don't even fucking care. But but that's like another thing. Like they were big on integrity, which a lot of companies do.
Yeah,
and you know, so you wouldn't really get in trouble if you just admitted that, you know, you hit something or whatever. But they would like freak out about like stupid shit. Like one dude backed into like came up in the country and like backed into someone's yard because they couldn't back up, and no damage was done, but the person complained and they were you know, fucking get reprimanded, which whatever, dude. I guess they didn't tell them. But the things that I would get pissed about, dude, like you could get written up for not wearing UPS socks.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
how would they even know? They check your socks?
Yes, they check your socks. They
Lift
check
up
your
that
shoes.
pant leg.
Yep. Well, no. If you're wearing pants, it's fine.
Oh, I see.
If you're wearing shorts, and you know you could get written up for that, and they didn't provide the socks. You would have to buy the socks, and they were like over $5 a pair.
Really?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Like, what the fuck, dude? And shoes, like you get in trouble for wearing tennis shoes.
Oh.
You had to wear a steel toe, either shoe or boot. And like I would just wear Nikes all the time. I don't fucking care. And like again, and like I had said something to my supervisor one time. I came back, I did like 220 stops, and I came back and I was like, hey Jimmy, I go 20 of my customers didn't want their packages today. And he's like, what are you talking about? I go, they're in my truck. And he's like, why? And I go, because I wasn't wearing UPS socks. They didn't want them. They didn't want their package because I wasn't wearing fucking socks. Like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Like, it was so fucking ridiculous. Like, and you know, they would observe you, you know, and the thing is like, again, that's somewhat normal, but like, you would have to honk your horn at every stop. Every fucking stop. I could do 3 houses in a row, and I'd have to honk fucking 3 times. You know how fucking disturbing that is to a neighborhood?
Oh, yeah. Well, I hear it here. Like,
Right.
I'll be at home, when I'm working from home, you know, I'll hear the horn, but then I'll hear it again, because it's the next door if they've got a couple deliveries in a row, especially this time of year.
Right.
And I'm thinking somebody's outside trying to get someone's attention. Like, well, I guess
Right.
they are trying to get someone's attention, but I thought it was like somebody like in a driveway, but like, come outside. And then I go out there and it's just a guy in a truck. I was like, oh.
Well, so their reasoning behind it is there's a couple things. So just in case there's like dogs, which I get in the country.
Sure.
I completely understand it. But the other one is like, oh, maybe they'll come outside and meet you halfway, or come up to the truck and you won't have to get out. I'm
No.
like,
if I go up and I see it, the UPS guys, I'm gonna look through the peephole until he drops the package off.
Yeah.
And then I open the door.
yeah, exactly. You know, that's what a normal person does. They're not like, oh man, he honked. Let me just fucking run out there and do his job for him. Fuck out of here, dude.
No, even my DoorDash, like they'll come to the street, and then sometimes I'm thinking, I was like, are they waiting for me to come out?
Right.
I'm like, I'm just gonna say, you gotta come. It's DoorDash. You
Yeah.
gotta come to the door.
Yeah.
Like this is
Yeah,
not.
fuck that noise.
It's not Street Dash.
Right.
That's different.
And then like, dude, you know, there would be times where, you know, I would deliver like furniture or like a grill.
Yeah.
And these people know this shit's coming. I mean, technology's pretty savvy, you know, like fucking,
yeah.
you can track stuff pretty easily. Like I knew exactly when all my packages got delivered today. They would fucking have so many cars in their driveway or have something blocking so you can't fucking back into it. It's a 150-pound grill. Oh, sorry, 149 pounds. And if it says 149 pounds, you know it's over 149 because that's our limit.
Right.
So they won't allow you to fucking print a label if it's over that. So they would block their driveway, so I couldn't fucking back in. I'm not fucking carrying that motherfucker, and I hated using the fucking handrail, especially if you have to go over grass. You ever try to use a handrail over grass?
Yeah.
Fuck that noise. So I would fucking just put the fucking grill in front of their fucking cars, dude, and just be like, all right, well, see ya. I ain't busting my ass over this.
Well, that happened years and years ago when we were at that first house.
Yeah.
I had ordered this T-shirt printing thing.
Oh, yeah. I remember. What happened to that?
It's in my attic.
You have an attic?
In the garage, yeah. So but it came on like a little mini pallet because I didn't realize how much shit there was in this
Yeah.
thing, and we didn't shovel the fucking driveway. It was a crazy winter there.
Yeah.
That winter was nuts, and we didn't shovel the driveway or the walkway, so they just dropped it off in the street. I think you had to help me bring it in.
I think so.
And we had to bring in this fucking pallet. It was fucking ridiculous. But I get it.
Yeah.
You know, I get it.
I mean, we fucked up.
yeah,
right?
we did. We fucked up, and that's just what you got to do.
Yeah. So, yeah, I would do shit like that. Or, like, I had one lady, we were delivering, dude, they would fuck us on Saturday. Like, they would give us such a big area. And then, like, it just seemed like all the big shit would go out on Saturday, and there'd be a limited, there'd be like 20 drivers working, and they would just try to fuck us as much as they could. And so I delivered like fucking these 4 big ass couches, or not couches, but chairs to this one house. And I was like, look, I got to get this out of my truck because I can't even fucking walk through this motherfucker. So I go there early. Well, I back into their driveway, and it's off a main road too. So I back into their driveway. So that's already tough enough because you have to wait. You're probably waiting there for at least 5 minutes for the traffic to completely clear because you need time to fucking back in.
Right.
So get there. Girl comes out, and I was like, I go, there's no room in the garage. I was going to put them all in the garage for her. I was like, there's no room in the garage, but I got to get these off, so hopefully you guys can figure something out. Well, I put them, I stacked them next to the garage. Grandma comes out. I guess this is Grandma's house. She's like, what am I supposed to do with this? I don't know. Like, do you want to refuse it? She goes, no. And she's like, well, they weren't supposed to come till Monday. They would do that shit all the time to us on Saturdays. They would try to make the guys their load on Monday. That's why we had so much fucking work.
I see.
And they kept getting in trouble, and we kept filing grievances because in our contract, like, you could only... It was like a certain percentage. Like, on your heaviest day, you have to take that percentage, and that's how much you can work on Saturday. Does that make sense?
It
the
does.
volume.
Yeah. So if you have, say
you have 100 packages on Wednesday,
Yeah.
the most you can take out on Saturday would be like 25 or whatever
Got
the
it.
percentage was.
Yeah.
So they would fuck us and go above that percentage all the time. They'd break contract rules, and we fucking grieved it a lot. And they were just basically just told us to fuck off.
Now, when you so let's explain a little bit about the grievance process.
Okay. So the grievance, because we were union, so you would fill out a grievance form. It would go through the channels of the union, and the result would be they would have to fix it, and the penalty would be like you get paid more. Like they would have to pay us more,
right,
to do things like that, to work on Saturdays or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so, they would do shit like that, like just give us more fucking work. That like I would fucking hate when I looked at a package and I saw Monday's date on it. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Why am I fucking delivering this? Like I want to go home. Like I wasn't even scheduled on Saturday. I was on what they call ALO. Or no, not ALO. That was my Mondays. That's just being on call until fucking 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Like you can't even start your fucking day, dude. You have to like basically be sitting around for them to fucking call you until 10 o'clock in the morning. And you like they don't start until like they start at 8:15, 8:30 on Mondays, and you would have to wait like an hour and a half after start time to see if you were going to work, because if there was an emergency, they could call you in.
Right.
But like I never answered. Like if they hit like. I would always get up at 7:30. I would wait until 8:15, and if I didn't hear anything by 8:15, I'd just go back to sleep and claim that I was sleeping.
And that was technically your off day, because you didn't have a typical weekend.
So that was at the start. I was working Tuesday through Saturday, but then when I got Monday through Friday, they didn't have enough work on Monday, and they had too much work on Saturday, so I was still Tuesday through Saturday. But I was on call Monday. So I was possibly like there was guys, dude, for like 6 months, and this happened to me when I was on preload. There was dudes that were forced to work for like 6 months, 6 days a week.
Wow.
You get time and a half. You get overtime automatically on your 6 punch.
Yeah.
But still, dude, you ain't got no fucking life. Like you have to wake up every day to see if you're fucking working. Like it's the fucking hassle, dude.
Yeah, that'd be a pretty isolating thing, and it's interesting though, because the appeal for a job like this, like it doesn't start out. I mean, starting out, you don't need a college degree.
No.
You can make what's the starting wage?
Well, let me go back real quick.
Okay.
Hold that thought. Like, okay, so for that furniture, I drop it off. The grandma comes out.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, what am I supposed to do this?" I was like, "I was gonna try to put it in the garage, but the garage fucking filled. You can refuse it, or I can just leave it here." She's like, "Well, I'm not gonna refuse it because I won't get it back." I go, "Exactly." And so she started bitching at me and like crying because it was supposed to rain. It was about to rain like in about like 15 minutes, and I was like, "That's not my problem. That's why I got it off right now." I'm like, you should have knew this was coming. Like, you have fucking 8 cars just fucking everywhere.
Yeah, where are these other people?
Right. She goes, "I'm an old woman. How am I supposed to move this?" I go, "There was just a fucking like 16-year-old girl out here, and then I saw another dude." I'm like, "Get them to fucking move it." Like, go fuck yourself, man. These people are so fucking entitled. A lot of people. The weird thing is, a lot of people showed a lot of respect that like I don't get shown on a daily basis without wearing Browns, when I'm in my uniform, like people would open doors for me. Like people are just generally very nice,
right?
And like not that to say like fucking society's fucked up, but like you could just tell the difference. Like even like little conversations that people would have. Most of the time, I don't like that when people try to talk to me in public like that,
right?
But it's I won't be a dick to them for the most part,
sure.
But like when I was wearing UPS shit, I was make sure I was overly nice. I didn't want any kind of fucking report coming back to me.
That makes sense.
But back to your question about the hourly wage.
Yeah.
They start off. So they have this title called a 224.
Okay.
And it's like a combination driver. Like if they need them to work preload, they'll have to work preload. If they need them to drive, they drive. If they need them to do unload, they unload. Like you're basically
just a jack of all trades.
Yeah. And usually they stick to driving, but like in a crisis type situation, or if they don't have enough routes, they can go to preload, whatever. Mm-hmm. So those dudes make about $21 an hour.
Okay,
ain't bad.
It's starting out,
right.
21. Okay.
Yep. So once you became a RAP CD, an RP CD, regular package car driver, RAP CD. I always call it a RAP CD because it's easy to remember. But so once you become a RAP CD, you move up to like $22.50 or something, 22, 23.
Okay.
And then like each year it gets increased by $1.
Okay.
And then your third year, maybe third year, you jump up to like 29 an hour.
Okay.
But then your fourth year, once you get the max pay, you hit $40 an hour. So it is a good paying.
So it jumps. Wait. So it jumps by the fourth year. It jumps another almost $10 an
Yeah.
hour. Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's the appealing part of it. And
Okay.
you don't have to pay for insurance. They have great insurance. They got a pension. They got good benefits. Like there is a lot. Like I didn't mind the job. Like I'm not trying to be like, fuck this, all this shit and all this stuff. It was management. Management was the fucking worst part of this fucking job. Like I said at the beginning, I would do 220, 230 stops a day. I will pat my back on this because I do believe I was like the best driver in the fucking building. Like I had one time told them because they wanted to get rid of me so they like to do what they call salting cars, and I know I'm jumping around, but just things are coming. So they salt these cars, right? Management will put a package on your truck that doesn't belong there to see what you do with it.
Yeah,
because you're supposed to scan it in and shoot it to the building. And they'll tell you what to do with it. If they don't tell you what to do with it, you either got to call a supervisor or you got to deliver it. So they had put a package in my car, and this was right after I came off my injury. Like I was out for 3 months because I was on workers' comp. I hurt my leg. My calf just kind of like exploded. I don't know really what happened. I was just walking and it fucking like a muscle tore or some shit. So they said, they claimed that I was dehydrated. That's why they thought it. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah,
your leg exploded. You didn't drink enough water.
Yep.
That's what happens when you don't drink water.
Yep.
Your muscles explode. That's
yep. So where was I? I was going.
They assaulted.
They assaulted the car. So they assaulted my car, and I didn't know. Like I scanned it into the building, right? And I scanned it as a misload. And I didn't sheet it. Sheeting it is saying that it was delivered, it was not delivered, the reason why it wasn't delivered, whatever the case may be. So I didn't know I had to sheet it after I did the misload. This was after being like out for 4 months. I just came back. This is my second week back. Kind of forgot certain things, all right? So I scan it as a misload, don't do anything else. I don't hear back from them. I bring it to the building, throw it on the belt. Bam, right? Next day, they bring me in the office to fire me. And they wanted to know my story. So I told them what the fuck I did. I was like, look, I scanned it. I thought that was good. I was like, why do you think I wouldn't fucking deliver it or whatever? And this was at 7 o'clock that I got done the night before. And I'm a guy that barely worked past 5 o'clock because I bust ass to just get done, right?
Right.
So having a bad day is 7 o'clock. My supervisor goes, well, you just wanted to leave early. That's why you didn't do it. I go, I was out there till fucking 7 o'clock anyway. Like, what the fuck's the difference with one more stop, dude? Like, I'm already pissed off because I'm working past 5 o'clock like a fucking, no human being should ever have to work past 5 o'clock. I don't know. It's something about 5, dude. Like, once I start working after 5, I'm like, fuck, dude. I know you got the flexible schedule, and, like, so do I, but, like, shit, dude. Like, once 5 o'clock is, I don't want to be working.
No, for me, the work doesn't stop. This is, I work.
Can't stop, won't stop.
No, work to the break of dawn.
Yeah, okay. So, that's what I told them, and in my following sentence, because they were trying to get rid of me, I go,
yeah. So let's back up for a second.
Yeah,
because they're kind of, just because I kind of am aware of their thought process here. You were on an injury. For how long were you?
I was out like 4 months. Close to 4 months.
So 4 months, you were getting partial pay for.
I was getting workers' comp. Yeah,
which is like a portion of like your typical earnings.
Yeah.
And they can't fire you for that. You go to the doctor, and then the doctor clears you.
I had to go to physical therapy.
Yeah.
And I did everything that UPS they wanted me to do. I went to physical therapy.
Yeah.
I went to their doctors. I wasn't allowed to see my doctor until after 30 days of the injury.
Gotcha.
So I had to go to their doctors, their physical therapy. Every time I went to physical therapy, my leg hurt even more.
Yeah.
So I would be like I would feel okay, go to physical therapy. After physical therapy, I'd be limping like a motherfucker into my building. And so it would even look worse because I'm like, dude, like, like, good for me because I don't have to work. I'm still getting paid. But, like, it's kind of like a mirage almost.
And their thought process is like, I'm telling, if you just drink some water, you'll be fine.
Yeah, yeah,
Just here, take a gallon.
Yeah.
Go nuts.
right. Here's a bottle of Aquafina.
So the problem is now you're on a payroll and you're not able to work.
Yeah.
4 months goes by.
Yeah.
And so they're and on top of that, if you have an actual injury, which this kind of goes to their
And the thing is too is that they didn't let me get an MRI. I didn't get because the UPS doctors would not approve an MRI.
yeah.
By the time my doctor does, and like if you've ever gotten an MRI, like it takes a process, so you don't get it right away. It's not
Right.
like you're like, all right, we're doing this right now. You have to set an appointment. You got to get approved. All this shit. So, their doctors don't approve it. That's a month after my injury. Month after my injury, I go to my doctor. I'm like, this is all I want. All I want is an MRI to see what the hell's going on with my leg. So by the time he was able to get me in, and this was, a year after COVID, so, things are still backed up. COVID is just, we're still wearing masks some places, shit like that. And he, so my MRI was like 2 months after that. So it's been 3 months since my injury when I got my MRI. Well, they didn't find anything. So UPS got more pissed because I was pretty, like I said, after I stopped going to physical therapy, it healed up, in a couple months, like I guarantee I tore something, or like partially tore a muscle, and it just, dude, I could barely fucking walk.
Right. So the thought process too is like, okay, so you have a legitimate injury, and then it's more than likely that you can injure it again, right?
Correct.
Like an athlete.
Yeah.
That typically happens to a lot of athletes.
And
they get an injury, they can't.
And the funny thing is you bring up the athletes, is we would have these pre-communication meetings, these PCMs, every day before work. And we would do these dynamic warm-ups, which would be like fucking like barreling water, like, and we would do like 10 of them. Or we would do this.
Jumping jack type of thing.
Yeah, sort of, but you don't leave your, you go from your balls or your heels to your tip of your toes. While you're doing that motion, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like it's good field goal thing, So we would do 10 of them, and then they'd be like, okay, well, you're warmed up. And then they'd be like, yeah, your body is like an athlete's body. But then if you get hurt, they're like, yeah, go fuck yourself.
So this is the hypocrisy of it, though. So it's like they figure, well, you've been out for 4 months, we've had to pay you, now you're a liability, you can get hurt again. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to test you, and if you fail, then we can fire you.
Yep.
However, that goes against their original thought of like, you're not hurt, you just need to drink water. But if there was if it wasn't a real injury, then there wouldn't be the likelihood of you injuring again would be low, and they wouldn't even have to worry about it unless they were just being spiteful. So regardless, they look bad in both scenarios. And so now they go and they test you.
So I'm in the office. They ask me what happened. I tell them what happened. Then he goes, he said, what did he say? He said something to me that like, something about disciplinary actions and all this shit. And I go, at this point I thought I was getting fired. So I told him, I go, Al, you've been wanting to fire me since your second day in this fucking building. He went on a safety ride with me my second day in the building, and I swear to God, I wanted to quit within 20 minutes of him being in the fucking truck with me. This was before we had GPS in the truck. So he had a iPad,
right,
and he saw the GPS in all my stops, right? So I would go up to, come up to an intersection, and he would be like, all right, turn left. And I'd start turning left. And he'd be like, oh, I meant right. So I'd have to turn around, and he'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, you're fucking me up. Which direction do I go? And so he would do shit like that. I had a couple businesses. I had a golf course that I wanted to back up right to their shed. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, dude, there was about 5 or 6 times during the day where I slammed on the brake, fucking put the truck in park, and just put my hands up and was like, what the fuck do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And I wasn't even a full-time driver yet. So does all this shit. Fast forward, I'm in his office because he wants to fire me. I told him, I go, look, Al, I go, if you had 100 Bobby Cabooses in this fucking building right now, we would be the most proficient fucking building in the fucking country. Because the way I I would do anywhere from 35 to 42 stops an hour, which is fucking insane.
It's pretty good.
The most stops I've ever done in 1 hour was like 48. And I would time it because, before I had headphones or, whatever, or a Bluetooth speaker, dude, like you need to like entertain yourself somehow.
Oh, yeah.
So like
yeah.
my thing was like, all right, let me try to beat kind of personal records. Let me see how many packages I can, or how many stops I can deliver an hour, or shit like that, just to keep it fun, right?
Right.
So I was finishing these routes with like 220, 230 stops by like 4 o'clock. And like people were like, dude, you got to stop running. I never ran.
Yeah.
I never fucking ran once. Like, I'll take that back. I did run like, if like I fucking passed a house and I'm like, motherfucker, this house is like 5 houses down. I would jog, shit like that.
Now, was there in it? So, okay. So say you had, obviously, if you work fast,
Yep.
they're probably just going to give you more to do.
Exactly.
Now, most people, though, I'm assuming, weren't doing all that well. But were there any repercussions for them being like, oh, man, you gave me 200. I only got 150 done.
So,
Like, what do you-
no, like you would have to get your shit done.
Okay.
In a case like that, there are dudes, and the dudes work fucking Saturdays. And like, okay, so you might not get this analogy, but I used to tell my supervisors on Saturdays, I go, I'm Allen Iverson in the year 2000.
Okay.
Allen Iverson took his team to the finals in the NBA, and his team was dog shit. Like, he was the MVP of the league. He was the only reason they were there. And I was like, I am fucking Allen Iverson in year 2000 because I'm fucking working with a bunch of fucking scrubs. These fucking dudes need fucking help every week, dude. And it's the same motherfuckers. And I'm like, dude, and I would ask my supervisor, I'm like, why don't you just let them drown? Like, then you can write them out, write them up, then you can fucking get rid of them. Well, they, we can't just do that. Like, they need help, blah, blah, blah. No, like, fuck them. Like, I bust my ass. You can tell they're fucking just lollygagging. Like, I want to get the fuck out of here. Me and you do a lot of shit on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I have a fucking
Yeah.
life. Like, fuck, man. I'm not going to stay out until fucking 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock when I have to go home, eat dinner, shower, do whatever the fuck, and not be able to do something until fucking 11 o'clock. And then I got to wake up Sunday morning to fucking bowl or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And like, and especially during the summer, people have parties, shit like that. Dude, I want to fucking hang out, man. Like, I want to enjoy my fucking life. And, dude, so, for example, I'll take, Macomb County, right?
Yeah.
The houses are like here. They're close, you know. You could, like, you wouldn't really get in trouble. Like, you could get away with doing 20 stops an hour.
Okay.
I would do in a neighborhood like that 35 to 40.
Okay.
And like if you do like, but you're going to get 200 stops plus in that area. So if you do 20 stops an hour, they're okay with that. And it's 12 hours long.
Oh, okay.
But then like, if they feel like it, they'll be like, hey, Melvin, take 15 stops off of so-and-so. So they're not working that much. And then you're like, they're doing that to themselves. If they want to be out all fucking day, let them.
Now, if they dragged their feet though, and they did a 12-hour day, eventually they would also get their overtime pay,
Right.
or they just would be like, "Well, we don't need you to work this day because it's going to be too expensive."
No, so they would get the because depending on if you work was supposed
Yeah.
to go by seniority.
Okay.
So like the low guys work on Saturdays, the high guys work on Mondays, shit like that.
Gotcha.
But on Mondays, again, management would pick and choose who they wanted to come in because if you did a route shitty and I did a route good, why would they want the shitty person to work?
True.
You feel me? Because they want, like the management, they get some kind of bonus off of our numbers.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
So they want the best drivers working. So like they would go out of order, seniority order, to pick people on Mondays and have them come in.
So that makes me wonder though, if you're doing so well, and they know. So if they're like, hey, we have a good worker and that could actually earn me more money in my salary as for my quota bonuses, why would they want to fire you? I don't understand then the reasoning
So
outside of just a general like, well, he costs us a bunch of money for 4 months.
So because they know when they fire somebody, they're getting their job back. If they want their job back, they get it
so
back.
That's the part we didn't cover.
Yes,
Okay.
it's like a warning or like this is what can happen, like to scare you almost.
Gotcha.
So it's like they fuck with people. They fuck with people's lives in the way like I said, the salting the cars, the on observations they'll make shit up like, oh, you didn't use your horn. Well, yeah, I did. You just may have not have heard it because you're fucking down the street. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fuck out of here.
So instead of like dealing with like a write up or something, they would just be like, well, let's just fire him, and then he'll have a couple days off, and then the union will step in and save his job.
Yeah, and then like for my case, they my case they I was done with my route. I had like I think 225 stops or so, and I ended in I don't know, 21 in Garfield, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people aren't going to know where that is.
Yeah, yeah.
But they wanted to send me. This was at 4:15. I finished. They wanted to send me to go east.
Yeah.
Probably 6, 7, 8 miles.
And this
right?
is when they salted the car. Or is this a different
No,
thing?
this is my final.
Okay.
When
but before we get there, though, let me ask you. So when they salted it and you confronted them and be like, you've been wanting to get rid of me since the beginning, like, what did they have to say to that?
So he basically was like, you don't remember the things that I did for you. Like, so there's a whole like pay structure, whatever. Like they weren't paying me my pay that I was supposed to during COVID.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of times I would have to be like, hey man, I didn't get paid the way I was supposed to, and he had to fix it.
Yeah.
There was also a time where there was a ordering shortage on our end to get uniforms, and I had literally like one shirt and one fucking pair of shorts, and he was able to message people to bring in like their hand-me-downs. So I got a bag of hand-me-downs.
Oh, so he's like, yeah, I was able to give you stuff that you were supposed to have
Yeah.
and that we failed you on.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
How is that a thing? Where's the?
And we brought that up. I was like, dude, like, so you did your job, like you did your job, so I could do my job. Like, get
Yeah.
the fuck out of here. What do you? This is apples and oranges, man. And so, because I told the truth and didn't lie to them, because they were expecting me to lie as well, so they were trying to catch me on a lie, and I have no reason to lie. Why the fuck would I lie? Like,
Yeah.
like I don't give a fuck, right? So I tell him the truth, and he like they were gonna sit me for the day, and one of the veteran drivers at the time who was about to retire came into the office and asked for the day off, so they put me on his route, and I'm like, first of all, you're going to fire me, so I'm somewhat emotional.
Yeah.
And now you're going to send me out on the road. Great. That's great management.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck, dude?
And these guys probably make a decent living, don't they?
I mean, low end is like, what I've heard was like 80, 90.
Yeah. Why? I mean, what's the requirement to become a UPS supervisor? Because I think I can do it.
It's literally you have to have a bachelor's degree in anything.
Really?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah. Because I was thinking about going into management.
Yeah.
But A, I'm not a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And B, they can send any management, since they're not union,
Yeah.
they can send any management like within like a certain mile radius of their house. So like you could be like, they could send you to Port Huron like tomorrow with no notice, and you would
see.
work there permanently until they move you again.
Gotcha.
And they like to shuffle around the supervisors so the drivers don't get used to them or some shit.
Gotcha. All right, that sucks.
Yeah.
Because that would be a hell of a commute.
Right. So
Okay.
they to get back to, so I finished my route at like 4:15.
Now this is the second.
This is the permanent one.
So this is what drove you out of the business.
Yes,
Of
this is
being
what
an
drove
elf.
me out of the business. But I'll go back to some stuff too after this. But so I end up having to go like 7, 8 miles east, and it's in rush hour traffic. I have softball in about 2 hours.
Okay.
And it's going to take me with that traffic because there's schools in the area. That was the big part.
Oh, right.
There's a couple high schools and a couple middle schools.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have took me probably an hour to get there. So we're talking about 5:15.
Okay.
It would have took me probably an hour or probably 20 to 30 minutes to load up. So that's, close to 5:40, 5:45.
Sure.
And then probably a half hour to 45 minutes to get back to the building. And I have a game at 6:25. So that's not happening. So I'm like, fuck this. Well, normally if something like this would happen, and this would happen every fucking day, they would send me places because I would get done, they would, instead of this fucking ugly ass fucking linebacker looking bitch, for some reason kept the name Caboose in the back of her fucking mind. And she would call me and one other dude that I was cool with all the fucking time to go on fucking opposite ends of town to fucking do pickups and shit like that. And I would call her almost every day and I'd be like, I'm not in this fucking area. Put it on somebody else, because I knew there was about 5 or 6 drivers closer. But they always just she had my name in the back of her head, dude.
Right.
So I was sick and tired of doing this shit. Sick and tired of bailing everyone out when there's been 5 times in 4.5 years that I asked for help. Never got help once.
Really?
Take that back. They gave me a PVD driver one time, personal vehicle driver during Christmas.
Sure.
So they drive their own vehicle, deliver packages, take stops off you, right? They gave me this little Asian woman. She could have been 30. She could have been fucking 70. And I'm pretty sure she was closer to 70. And she comes, she meets me, and I was shocked that she was the person that was coming to get. So she's she was supposed to take 50 stops off me that day. I had 270. It was a Saturday during Christmas. So she was supposed to come pick, I think, 50 stops off of me, and then I was supposed to get another PVD to take 20 more stops off me after she was done. She takes the first 10, 15 stops. Should take her maybe if you had the GPS every stop, maybe it would take you an hour. Maybe at the high end.
Sure.
3 hours go by. I don't hear from this lady. I fucking call her. I text her. Nothing. Call my supervisor. Doesn't answer. Other supervisor calls me, and hey Caboose, you were you waiting on that PVD driver? Yep. Trying to contact her for the last couple hours. She shouldn't have took that long. Fucking rolled her ankle and quit.
Oh wow.
And I'm cool. Or she got hurt, and I'm off of 15 stops. What the fuck? So I go, well, what about the other PVD driver I was promised? Oh, they're helping somebody else. They're not going to be able to get to you. Oh, okay, so when everyone that was above 200 got dropped down to 200, except for me, and I had fucking 50 more stops than anyone else in the building, still finished early, and still had to go help one of those assholes that I fucking talked about earlier that were fucking, they're still there and they're worthless.
Yeah.
Had to go help them. Yeah, your patience runs out very quick if you're a good worker there.
Right.
So going back to this, I didn't want to do this fucking pickup. So I just went back to the building. I was like, fuck this. That fucking linebacker looking bitch. Every time I called her, she was the most unpleasant person. When I'm telling you, Melvin, when this person was so fucking unpleasant to deal with, you would just call and your skin would cringe because she was just a bitch for no reason. Dude, I know you're fucking ugly as fuck, but usually, really, really ugly people have somewhat good personality sometimes because they have to make up for it, right?
Yeah.
Complete opposite. She was fucking just a nasty bitch, dude. So every time I call her, she'd give me shit, and I'll be like, look, I'm not even in that fucking area. I'm not going. You should find somebody else. So I was just sick of having that conversation. So I just went back to the building. So go back to the building, go up to softball, go to the bar after. And even during softball, I was like, man, something's going to happen, right? So as soon as I'm done with softball, I get a phone call on the way to the bar, and it's one of my buddies that I work with. And he's like, hey, man, did you go to do this pickup? And I said, no.
Yeah.
He goes, well, what happened? Did you? I go, dude, I just fucking, on my board, I just fucking completed it. I was like, fuck this, dude. And
Wait, so you marked it as if you delivered it?
yeah, because there's no other way to get it out of your board.
Oh, I see.
So
Got it.
I was like, whatever, dude. So he's like, all right, man, just to let you know, you're probably going to get some heat tomorrow. I go, okay. So thanks for letting me know. So at the bar the whole time, man, I'm like, I think it's going to be bad, dude.
Oh, really?
So I get in the building the next day, and it's like I wasn't mad to face the music, right?
Sure.
I just wanted the meeting done. I just wanted it done, right? So the whole time I was like, dude, I don't care what the fuck happens. I thought about it all night because, like, again, it's not like I was nervous or anything. I was like, all right, what am I going to say? What's going to happen? Play out different scenarios in my head,
Right.
shit like that. So I go, I'm thinking about it. Well, my union steward comes up to me in the morning, and he's like, you know what? Well, first I get in the building, and usually your name's next to a route.
Sure.
And so, like, when it's not, like, you know, you go up to your supervisor and ask why, you know. So I saw one of my buddies who has the same seniority date as me. Actually, it was the exact same. He was leaving when I was coming in. So I texted him. He's like, yeah, they told me I could go home. You know, they don't have enough routes. So I was like, okay. So I go up to the list. I don't see my name on a route. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's just not enough routes today.
Sure.
So I'll see if how they're acting or whatever. So I go up to my supervisor. I was like, hey, you know, what's up with this? And he's like, oh, just hang tight. Like, okay. And so this was like 8:30. I always got there early. Start time was like 9:20.
Sure.
So 9:05 hits. I go back in the office. I'm like, hey, you know, am I good? What are we doing? He's like, just hang tight, you know. I'm like, okay. So I go back out there. My union steward was walking towards me. And he's like, you know what's going on? I'm like, I know what's up, you know. I'm like, I'm not sure how bad it is. He's like, dude, it's bad. He goes, please tell me a story. Like, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. I go, I ain't no story, man. He's like, what do you mean? I go, I just said fuck it, and I'm not doing this shit no more. Like, I'm done helping out. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, dude. And I told him like I told you, 4.5 years, asked for help 5 times, maybe got it once. Fucking have to help here and there at 3-4 times a week. Fucking sick of it, dude. Why am I busting my ass when all these fucking people are, you know, lollygagging around, fucking doing 100, 120 stops, dude? Fuck this. So I told my union steward, I go, let me take care of this. You don't have to say a word. And he's like, are you sure? I go, yeah. So I walk into the office.
But by the way, the union steward seems to be a role like a lawyer. And so
yeah,
for you to
100%.
be like, listen, I don't need your expertise here.
Yeah.
He's probably like, God damn it.
Yeah.
This is not going to go
No,
well.
for real. Like that is 100% what it is because they represent you.
Yeah.
Whatever. So I go into my center manager's office, and he's like, to paint a picture, like, you know, he's a black militant dude. So like, you know,
Like he's a black militant, like he's like super like those black Hebrew Israelites, or is he like just a militant dude who happens to be black?
not so much Chuck D, but like
okay.
I could see him being with Chuck D. But like,
Gotcha.
kind of just a
militant dude who's just okay.
yeah,
Got it.
a little bit of combination of both.
Yeah, I just didn't know if he was gonna. All right, got it.
Yeah, no, yeah. You know, it wouldn't surprise you if he was like a fight the power.
Got it.
You know what
got
I
it.
mean? Like
something like that.
So, so I go in there, and he reminds me of my fucking 9th grade basketball coach, who was a white dude, but yeah, same kind of kind of mentality. I'm saying you know, but we're not fucking kids. You know, like
Right.
he would act like your coach. Or like, you know, do this, go. You know, and shit like, you know,
Yeah.
and like it's a job and I'm an adult. Fucking talk to me like an adult.
Right.
Don't
right.
like we talked about the seasonal elf
Oh, yeah.
saying yes sir, no sir. That's a real thing that I got texted to me, that a seasonal driver he told him to refer to him as yes sir, no sir when he fucking talks to him. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that, dude? It's 2000
Yeah.
fucking almost 23. Like, I don't show any respect to people that don't show respect to me.
Yeah,
so
sure.
you got to earn the motherfucking shit before I'm like, hey, kissing your ass and being like, dude. And the motherfucker got fired twice from UPS.
Oh.
One for fucking a preload chick in his office.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's
the
how
fuck
did
out
they
of here,
bring
man.
him back
Dude,
as a supervisor? He's not.
he's a center manager. He's like above all the supervisors.
How does he come back? And those guys aren't union either.
No.
So what? How do
No
you
clue.
Fucking
No fucking
manage
clue.
that?
No fucking clue. So
That's crazy.
so anyway, I go in there and he's like, Mr. Caboose, take a seat. And I was like, all right. So I take a seat. He's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm fucking great. I've had a month off at this point. I was just fucking chilling. I was going to the bar watching the World Series
Why were you off for a month?
because I got fired. Or no, not yet.
Oh.
No. I'm sorry, not yet. This
Oh,
is
okay.
this is when I went in.
Okay.
This was the next day. Yeah, I'm sorry. I got my stories.
Gotcha.
So I go in the next day, and he's like, Mr. Caboose, take a seat. I take a seat. He goes, I go, hey, look. I go, before you say anything, I go, let me just talk, and and he's like, okay. So I don't, I couldn't see my union steward's face, so I don't know if he was like, the
he was
lawyer, like
kinda
what?
like,
Yeah,
This
like
is gonna be so hard to
the fucking
unravel.
sitcoms, like I object. So I go, look, I know I fucked up. I go, I should have communicated that I wasn't going to go there, or at least ask if there was another driver in the area. I go, I was frustrated. I go, this shit happens to me all the time. I go, I'm one of the best drivers in this fucking building, and you guys take advantage of me. I go, I do 200 to 230 stops a day. I go, and you just have me go help people, and you just give me more work, more and more work. I'm not getting paid like I'm getting paid. I'm not getting paid to do more work than other people.
Sure.
I go, where I did make the mistake is I didn't communicate, and I should have. I go, I'm willing to take all the responsibility and the consequences for my actions and all this shit. Like, it's super professional, man. I laid it out. I didn't say as much F-bombs as I am right now, but
Yeah.
and he looks at me and he's like, no, what you fucked up is not doing the pickup. And I was like, okay, whatever, dude. So he turns his computer screen around.
Okay.
And there's a pallet of boxes. He's like, you see that? And there's like 150 boxes, right? And it was like all next day air.
Uh-huh.
And he's like, yeah, you cost the company about $15,000. Or no, he goes, how much do you think that's worth? And I go, I don't know, pretty penny. He goes, you cost the company about $15,000 for not picking that up because it missed the airplane.
So you're supposed to do a pickup of that stuff.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So
gotcha.
the guy that called me the night before to warn me, he went there and he couldn't fit everything on his truck.
Gotcha.
So that's why I missed the airplane.
So it wasn't just one package you were picking up.
No.
It was many
Yes,
packages.
yes.
That's why they were. That makes a little bit more sense why they were pissed.
Yeah. I would be pissed too.
Yeah.
But like I said, I was like, I was like, dude, like literally, fuck this, man. Like I was so sick of them taking advantage of how I work, and I always told them, I was like, look, I don't work this hard for you guys. Like I said, I know there was a good month or a good stretch of maybe 8 months one year that I didn't work past 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that's like unheard of. Like I would get out by 4:30 almost every day. And they thought I was running. They thought I was doing using shortcuts as far as my deliveries on, like, I don't know, throwing the package. I don't know how you do a shortcut, but whatever, running, whatever the fuck. So when I got fired, this was 2 weeks after this militant dude observed me, and he saw me, and this was a week after I went on vacation, and then I got fake COVID because I faked COVID to get out of work a few days because I didn't want to go back to work. So, and they didn't question me about it. I was like, look, I got COVID. My dad actually did have COVID. So, so I was actually in the household with somebody that had it. My whole family got it from our Atlantic City trip. I don't know how, but I was the only one that didn't get it. And I just told work that, like, fuck it, dude. I'll get another couple days, play Madden, whatever.
Yeah.
Watch Boardwalk Empire.
Yeah.
So I do that. He observes me, says he's like, you're a really good driver. He's like, you were safe. He's like, you did everything except for one thing, and do you know what that is? And I was like, honk my horn. And he was like, well, why? If you knew, why didn't you? I told him some bullshit like, dude, I haven't worked in 2 weeks. Like, I'm just trying to get back in the habits and all that stuff. And he's like, all right, just work on that. In reality, I think it's dumb as fuck to honk your horn in every fucking stop in a fucking residential neighborhood. In the country with dogs and shit, I understand.
Right.
But in fucking Macomb or Sterling Heights or wherever the fuck you're going to be around here, fuck out of here. So he observes me. I go on my annual safety ride the week after with this Al dude that fucking tried to fire me the first time.
Yeah.
He's in the car with me, and he's trying to be real buddy with me and all this shit. And he's like, he tells me, he goes, Isham, the fucking militant dude.
Oh, his name's Isham.
It's close to it.
I gotcha.
He never properly introduced himself to me, so I just call him Isham.
Oh, okay, got it.
It's close enough. It's Isham, but like sounds more Jewish.
Okay.
So Isham, Al tells me that Isham was like, yeah, he's like, I was expecting to see him run, like he was super safe and all this shit. So like, I finally, after like 4 years of being just like on people's hit list for some fucking reason, because again, I worked well, like the preload.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you worked one day on the preload,
Yeah.
right? And you fucking hated it. I was
Yeah.
in that same area, and I would do it by myself for like 1,500 packages a day.
Yeah. Well, it was two things. I didn't. The work itself, I wasn't conditioned for it right away, but I had done physical work like that in the past.
Right.
So it didn't surprise me. I was just like, wow, I'm really out of shape.
Yeah.
But it was that combined with how much money it was going to pay me. And I already had a full-time job. I was
Right.
just looking for extra money and benefits. And then it was the attitude
Of the supervisor.
and I'm like, wait.
And that
I've-
by the way, that supervisor got fucking arrested for stealing Pokemon cards out of the fucking trucks.
Yeah, it was like at this point in my life, I was like, I have worked out of having to talk to people
Yeah.
like this. Like I don't have to
Right.
deal with people
and
like
that's
this
that's
anymore.
dude, and that's what I was getting back to the being like militant, dude. Like
Yeah.
you do not have to talk to me like I'm a fucking child or I'm in the fucking army.
Yeah.
Like talk to me like I'm a fucking person. And this is the whole thing, like yes sir, no sir, no, fuck you. Like you can earn respect just like I can earn respect. Like you show it, you get it, you know, fuck you. So Al was telling me how good of a driver I was and how much I improved from the last time he was in the car. All this fucking just kissing my ass, dude.
Yeah.
So get fired the next week or a week or two, and I was just laughing about it because I was like, man, I just got off everyone's shit list. I had my observations, like they like me, whatever, dude. So I go in there, I say my piece, and it was longer and more detailed, but
Sure.
it's been a couple months now. So I leave with my union steward, and he goes, my Isham, he goes, as of right now, you're terminated from UPS, but that doesn't mean you'll never work here again. And he goes, I believe in second chances, all this bullshit. Okay. So my union.
But so he's running the play of like,
Yes.
I'm going to fire you. Your steward's going to save you. You'll get back to work.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So I leave with my steward, and he's like, hey, man. He goes, I doubted you. Like you said, lawyer, dude. He's like, I doubted you. He's like, but you couldn't have handled that better. He goes, you said everything you needed to say. You didn't make any story up. You didn't, you admitted you were wrong. You admitted what you should have did. Like, he goes, they were expecting you to lie 1,000%. And I go, dude, they already fucking know. They
Yeah.
know I didn't go there. Like, what am I going to say? Like, oh, I went there and nobody was home. Like, or it was a business, dude. Like, what the fuck? Like, oh, everyone left for work early. Like, get the fuck
Yeah.
out of here. It's Wednesday in fucking September. So, he's like, I was asking him, do you think I can get my job back? And he's like, yeah, let me call you in a couple hours and all this shit. So he calls me, later that day, and he's like, are you okay, man? Like, do you have enough money? Like, all this shit, which I thought was real cool. Like, I don't think a lot of
steward?
people. Yes.
Oh, okay.
He was like, you sure you're going to be okay? You got enough money saved up? All this stuff, which I thought was real cool. I don't know really what he would have done if I said no,
Yeah.
but, I appreciated him checking up on me like that.
Right.
So then I ran into you, right? You give me this great opportunity.
Yeah.
I take it. Well, so I'm off for UPS, and this is where I fucked up earlier. This is where I was getting my timeline mixed up. So I was off for UPS for about a month. Usually these these hearings take about 2 weeks. I was out a month, so they doubled pretty much my time, right? So they scheduled it for like a month out on a Friday. I talked to you probably on a Tuesday because we hang out Tuesdays, right?
Yeah.
So today's Tuesday, so I'm gonna just go with that. So Wednesday, I make my decision. I talk to you. I tell pretty much you, like, I'm like, look, I'm gonna come in, or maybe it was the week before. It was the week before because I wanted to come in and talk to you and everyone else and see the job, right?
Yeah.
So we do that, and after talking to you guys for about 15 minutes in the office, I'm like, all right, I'm sold, right? So I leave there, talk to my union steward the next day. I was like, all right, I'll call him tomorrow because it was already late. We did our thing in the afternoon. So I was like, I'll call him tomorrow. So I call him tomorrow, and this was the Tuesday, and I go, hey, I'm accepting another job. I don't need this fucking shit. And he's like, are you sure? And I go, yep. They ask me what I'm doing and all this shit. And, I tell him, and he's like, all right, man. He's like, I'll let you. He's like, you still have time, though. He's like, I'll let you mull it over, right? Just think about it a little bit more, because he really wanted me back. He was like, dude, you're a cool ass dude. Like, you're one of the, like, he called me, quote unquote, one of the real ones. And, he's like, we all know you're a hell of a fucking worker.
Yeah.
So he goes into UPS, and he goes straight up to my fucking dispatch guy, who, this is maybe a tale for another time, because now I can tell UPS stories. So
Yeah.
It doesn't all have to be tonight, but he had once, tried to accuse me of getting him or trying to get him fired. I'm like, whatever, dude. So the dispatch guy and Al, he goes up to him. They're talking. He goes, I can't. He goes. Caboose is gonna resign, and they're like, what? And he goes, you guys treated him so fucking poorly that he don't even want to fucking come back anymore. He goes, what the fuck did you do? You guys know he's like one of the best drivers in the fucking building. Dude, that morning, they were blowing up my phone.
Really?
I hadn't heard from anyone from UPS in probably 28 days.
Yeah.
They fucking were blowing up my phone. I didn't answer. So my union, I just went back to sleep. This was the next day after I told him, right? He went in and told him. So he calls me back, my union steward, about a half hour after, and I was like, hey man, I was waking up again because I just went back to sleep.
Right.
I was like, hey man, I was gonna call you. Al and the dispatch guy have been blowing up my phone all fucking morning. What's this about? He goes, dude, I went in there and he told me all that. He's like, dude, I fucking stood up for you. He's like, I told them, I can't believe you guys let this motherfucker walk, like, and all this shit. And they were begging me to begging me for my job back, dude.
Really?
Like they were begging me to come back. And after being out for a month, I had heard stories, because I was talking to all the guys, and they would be like, yeah, so-and-so said they planned your hearing like a month out so they could drain your bank account and make you desperate. And I'm like, go fuck yourself, dude. Why would I want to work for a fucking company that does that type of shit?
It's true.
That's
true.
Like I said at the beginning, like, this is the perfect case of, like, management just not appreciating you.
Yeah.
And, like, I would tell people, I actually enjoyed the work. Like, I liked being out and about. Yeah, some days suck because, like, you don't have fucking air conditioning, which is barbaric in the fucking 100-degree weather when it's fucking 140 in the back of that truck.
Yeah,
like, Jesus Christ, man. And they can't fucking spend a little bit of money on air conditioning. But, yeah, dude, like, it was like why would you want to work for somebody and bust your ass every single day to someone that doesn't appreciate you and can get rid of you like this? Like, like last Christmas, I gave you my heart the very next day. No, so last Christmas, the dispatch guy came up to me because I was doing like close to 300 stops a day, and he came up to me and he was like, hey, Caboose. He's like, everyone calls each other by the last name, so I was known as Caboose around there for most of the time I was working there. So he's like, hey, Caboose, I don't think this building could have made it through peak without you. And I told him, I looked him straight in the eye. I was like, hey, man, I appreciate you saying that because it's nice, but I know it's complete bullshit. And he's like, what do you mean? I go, I'm just another spoke on the wheel, dude. Like, if you got rid of me, like, there'd just be someone else that, like, it might be two drivers, but the job's going to get done. It's not like I fucking did anything special. I just fucking did my job, and you gave me a lot of work to do. So he actually, so they call me. I don't answer. I talk to the union steward, tell him, and he's like, you still sure about this decision? I go, yep, I'm sure. So that Friday, a couple days later, I had to go in and sign a letter of resignation, which I believe it's because of the union. Like, because like, you're like, oh, well, you were terminated. But I think I had to sign because they have to, like, some legal reason.
Well, you're basically just saying, like, you can stop fighting on my behalf on this.
Pretty much. So I go in there, and again, I go into the office, and this is where my timeline was a little bit. And he's like, I went in, and I said bye to every supervisor except for Al, because he's a fucking dickhead. And then I go into Isham's office, And he's like, Mr. Caboose, how are you? I go with the biggest fucking smile on my face. I go, I'm fucking great. And he just looked at me. I go, I can't wait to leave this fucking place.
Yeah.
And like, he's like, well, I need you to sign this. I signed it off, and I fucking went straight out of his office, said goodbye to the supervisors again. Like, you know, in the morning, like the drivers are kind of just walking around.
Yeah.
I went up to every driver that I was cool with, that I saw, you know, said goodbye. I was like, dude, these motherfuckers, if they don't let me do this and they walk me out, like, you know, of course, like they're gonna have to walk me out if they're not gonna let me do this. Like,
Right.
They're not. If they're gonna ask me, I'm gonna be like, "Fuck you." I'm gonna, you know, do my thing. But you know, got to say goodbye to some of the people that I was cool with. But like, dude, and like I said, there'll be more now weekly almost. Like, well, I could probably tie something in here and there to hear more stories about the shit. But like, I mean, if it wasn't for fucking management, I'd still be there and I'd still be somewhat happy.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, but the worst part about it is, like, you know you're going to have a shitty day within like 10 or 15 minutes of being there.
Yeah.
Like, you just look at your truck and you're like, God damn it.
Well, yeah, back when I worked for Budweiser, it was the same type of thing. Like, I knew I had a route. Now, I didn't do deliveries, but I'd have to meet the drivers, and I'd have to. We've talked about this before, and I could tell. Like, all of a sudden, I'd be like, "Oh man, this order's huge. That means all the rest of them are going to be huge. It's going to be a long, fucking, painful day."
Yep.
And you just got to do it. I mean, and I'm sure you were there, where all of a sudden you think you're at the finish line. I always tell this story when it comes up, where I would finish, like, it'd be a 12, 13-hour day. I'm just sore. My hands are cut up from touching all these boxes and moving them around. And I think I'm done. I'm like, all right, I just get this one last stack done. And then I realize that wasn't the last stack.
Yeah.
Behind the corner, there's at least 20 more, and you want to cry.
So on
Like,
our Diad, like the scanner,
Yeah.
it'd be in the fucking holster, right? Mm-hmm. And you'd be driving, and like you'd have like fucking like, dude, they would be fucking ruthless. It'd be like 5 to 10 stops left. You're like, yes, I'm gonna be done in like 20 minutes. You see a little fucking green light on. Fuck. Once you take that motherfucker out of the holster, once you're done, like out, you know, stopped, you look at it. Go take fucking 20 stops off this fucking dick shit that can't do his job.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Oh, you just got a fucking pickup at the beginning of your route. Son of a bitch.
Yeah, and so when I used to do, like I said, when I used to run a route at Budweiser, like, this was before GPS. Well, there was GPS, but it wasn't as common.
Right.
This is like, I started there in 2006, so
Right.
you know, I still had to use a map half the time. You know, they gave me an allowance to use a payphone to like call people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I had a cell phone, but it wasn't an expectation. They actually assigned me a beeper. So if they needed me, I would then go use a payphone to call them. And so what I would do is I would just I had my store. It didn't change. I had the stores I had to go to, but I would run them as fast as possible. But if anybody asked me when I was done driving home, where you go, oh, I gotta finish up. I'm still working, so I can't take anymore. Can you help so-and-so? I can't. I can't do it.
Oh, dude, and you mentioned having the same route every day.
Yeah.
I'd work 5 days a week and have 5 different fucking routes.
Oh.
Like, I would be like the backup to all the guys that had bid routes, like that had their own route, that would have the route every day.
Yeah.
If they were off, I'd be on the route. And that was like, you know, most drivers would cover like maybe 2 or 3 drivers.
Yeah,
I covered like 7. I didn't know like fucking 7 or 8 routes. And then on top of that, the dudes that were fucking shitty as fuck, who were underneath me in seniority, by the way. I wasn't very high up, but I still had some seniority over some people. They would have the same route every day because they fucking sucked at their job and they didn't think they could do another fucking route.
Let me ask you this: You've been out now for a few months.
Yep.
Do you still get the dreams? Do you get UPS dreams?
I do actually.
I
do.
left Budweiser. It was in 2000. The last time I did 2 little stints, totaling 5 years, with like a year and a half break in between. But I left officially 10 years ago, 2013,
Okay.
and to this day, I still get dreams where I'm on a route, I'm running behind.
Yep.
and I just can't keep up. And I'm thinking I'll skip a stop. I used to do it all the time on the weekends because no one could check on me.
Right.
No one wanted to work the weekends. There was no Sometimes they'd send someone
Yeah.
out, but very few. Usually around the holidays.
Yeah.
So what I would do is I'd be like, all right, wait a minute. This store won't complain, so I'm going to chop off this one on Saturday because I'm kind of hungover from Friday, and then I'll just make sure I do it Sunday. Or if I knew I was going to go out Saturday, I'm like, I'm going to fucking slam the shit out of it. Make sure there's nothing, because a lot of times you have to go to the stores and take everything that's in the back
Yeah.
and put it on the shelf. But what I would do is I would make sure everything was out of the back, so then you couldn't say that I didn't fill it,
Right.
Because it was already filled. It's all there,
Right.
and so that would be my thing. And then I would just like skip them. I'd
Yeah.
skip like half of them, or on the holidays.
Oh, dude.
I'd skip them. I'd skip stores until like the last day before the supervisor had to come in the next day.
Ask me when the last time I got a signature for a package that required
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Fucking like 3 years ago.
Oh, I seen it. So there was not long ago. UPS was trying to drop off a package here, and the first or second time, they didn't even bring the package out of the truck. First of all, the first guy didn't even knock. He literally just put the sticker on the door. Like he
Yeah.
didn't even try. He didn't want to even fuck with it.
I didn't even do those. I didn't even fill those out. I just
Oh, no.
scanned them and threw them away.
No, he didn't fill it out. He just put a sticker
Yeah.
though. It was just a blank sticker to say,
I would
hey,
never
we
fill
were
it
here.
out. Yeah.
And then the second guy didn't bring the package out, did like just a quick knock and then put it on there. And then the third guy, actually, I felt bad for him because he dragged it out. I seen it on my camera. And he dragged it out and he waited. Because I don't think he knew right
Yeah.
away. And then he waited and he's like, and he had to drag it back to the truck.
Yeah, dude. The worst one though, like alcohol, I would always try to make sure someone was home, but I never got a signature. I would just be like, "Are you 21?" They'd be like, "Yeah." The worst one was I left a gun on the porch.
Oh, wow.
And I saw the guy in the window, so I just fucking left, or I was leaving, and the guy was like came outside and he's like, "Hey!" And so I stopped. I go, "What's up?" And he goes, "You just left a firearm on my doorstep." I'm like, "Okay, well you're here, you know." And he's like, "Well, I was gonna refuse it, so I had to go back out there and fucking grab it and bring it back in." He's like, "You should, you know." Dude, all right, relax, bro.
Yeah.
I saw you sitting on the fucking couch.
Yeah, people are miserable.
So
Well, onward and upward
Yep.
from there. You know, this is going to be a big year. We were just talking before this. 2023 is going to be.
the year of the leech,
It's. I don't know.
Chinese New Year. I don't know.
Oh, is it really? Is that the year of the leech? Jesus. But no, it's going to be a big year, and I'm excited. I think honestly, it's been, and this will be discussed probably more in future episodes. But it's been a tough year in certain ways, and I think, at least speaking for myself, I have paid
The Piper.
I have paid my karmic debt of bad shit.
Yeah.
I think I'm due.
Yeah.
The universe is ready. I'm ready for a payout.
Same.
Like that's
Same.
and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling that the things are lining up. I'm super confident.
Year 23 is the year of the growth
It is.
and the girth.
yes, it's all growth and girth from this point forward.
Yeah, the double G.
Yep. GG's.
GG's. So until next time, what you gonna do, brother? When your UPS driver gets lost in your neighborhood and your package doesn't get delivered before Christmas, and you have to explain to your wife or girlfriend why they didn't get a present, dude.